Welcome back to Manifest. And Kate, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I feel like I should say welcome to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to New York City. I was going to say my city, but I don't really feel like it's my city. It's just...
Well, you hard launched it 2 days ago.
It's just kind of where I live. I did. So, yeah, welcome. We're both welcome. We're welcomed.
You guys always ask for Katie to be on the pod. I also have no idea. Can we talk
I know.
about the setup?
I know. I don't really know. I'm looking at you because I don't want to look at myself, but I also don't want to look in the
I think it's that one.
Am I looking at it? Look at me in the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm kind of looking at two of them. Whatever. There's a lot of cameras around us at the moment, and
There's so
I feel like I'm
much
just
going
going to kind of be looking around the entire time, but I feel like that's normal.
And there's so much going on, and like I'm living for it.
It feels like professional.
Very professional.
Because other times we recorded, we were just like sitting in bed or like sitting on the couch. So this is just, it's like a little bit of
it's an upgrade.
Yeah.
It's totally an upgrade.
It's fitting.
Haters hate to see it.
They really hate to see you elevate.
No, could you imagine like I'm just thinking about the people that are like
I don't even know what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean?
No. Like, are you talking about haters?
I'm not kidding. I've had the giggles since yesterday. Like they will not go away.
That's good. It's fun to laugh.
Except I got it during an eye doctor's appointment.
Oh. There's really nothing funny about that. Eyes are very serious.
Okay. Oh my God, Kathy.
I know. She's actually doing like okay, but backstory. My stepmother had to get this crazy eye surgery. I don't even really understand it, but basically she has this like hole in her eye, and her recovery was 3 days. 3 days. On like laying face down, because like that's the way she had to heal from her surgery, and she cannot do anything. She can't go on her phone. She can't like open her eyes for more than like 5 minutes, and like everything is just so painful for her. And I was thinking of things that I could send her. Like I was thinking of like the little thing that Kel got you, like the little painting thing. I was like, that's like easy to do, like doesn't require like a screen, like whatever. But my dad's like, no, like that's too precise. Like that's too much of her eye strength to use. So she's just listening to a bunch of audiobooks.
That's good. She's probably flying through them.
Yeah, but what a miserable time. Like,
yeah, but it's not forever.
It's not forever, and like it's good. Like it's this whole thing. Like it ended up being like a lot quicker that they had to do it. Like they didn't think it was going to be this quick. But they did, and she's just in recovery. Everything's going to be okay, but it's going to be like 2 months until she's like back to totally normal.
So this is my best friend Katie, for anyone that doesn't know. And yes, for Kathy, like to put a cap on that.
Yes.
Kathy's
What?
The way you're crossing your feet right now is crazy behavior.
It's a double loop.
Okay.
So my feet are like facing the direction that they're supposed to.
So Katie's my best friend, if you can't tell from the giggles. And Katie's been on the pod a few times. One is a forbidden episode.
He actually can't speak about it.
No, that we can't speak about, but we can now.
We can speak about it. The fact that it was deleted for serious reasons. Not even serious. Like looking back, so completely unserious.
Yeah.
But it did have to happen because I do have a little bit of respect for some people in my life. And then the other one, I'm going to be so honest, I never listened to that other one that we did just because I feel like I can't
the one
listen.
on my bed?
Yeah. I feel like I can't listen to like my own voice. Like I don't even think I'll listen to this because like,
oh my God, you should.
No offense. Because I just like don't like listening to my own voice. And like I'm sorry if anybody hates my voice because
no one does.
I'm right there with you.
No one's going to say that.
Okay.
So Katie's my best friend, and every time Katie's on the pod, you guys live for Katie on the pod.
Thanks, guys.
So Katie's on the pod today, and we're going to talk about her life in New York, dating, how we were friends, some style, all the things.
There's much to discuss.
There's
always.
So much to discuss. So let's begin with like just our friendship, because we did get some questions about like our friendship and stuff.
Okay.
Katie and I have been friends forever.
Literally forever. We started out, we were kind of neighbors, like our neighborhoods were next to each other, and I could walk to Tori's house, like cut through like houses to get to her house. So we lived really close to each other, and we were in playgroup. So it was a group of moms and their kids that would get together, and we were, it was like preschool age, right? Like around like preschool age, and the moms would have their fun and the kids would have their fun. So that's like where we met, I guess, just because neighborhood like proximity. And then we went to elementary school together.
And we rode the bus together.
Sat next to each other on the bus.
And Katie brought the Beacon Street Girls books into school. And that was like what started my love of reading.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thanks. to me.
Hated Katie in 4th grade. Everyone did.
They hated me.
I didn't actually hate her.
They hated me because they wanted to be me, and whether they want to admit that or not.
So
and
true. No, it's
like
true.
that kind of mentality did exist in 4th grade, and like I am sorry to anybody, but I really like that was one of my peaks.
It was because everyone had a crush on this one kid, and this one kid had a crush on Katie.
And
he wanted her so bad.
Didn't even like him.
And that's like the secret.
That was like the worst part. Can I tell a really funny story?
Absolutely.
So he has a name. Let's call him Kyle, because his name's totally not Kyle. It's really not. And so Kyle, like everybody had a crush on Kyle. And then there was another kid in our grade with the same name, Kyle. And Kyle had a crush on me. The other Kyle, not the Kyle that everybody else had a crush on.
What's the other one's last name start with?
P.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Kyle P had a crush on me, and like nobody really knew if other Kyle had a crush on me. It was just kind of like speculation because we would like hang out at Foursquare all the time.
No.
But then
I knew he had a crush on you.
Then I heard rumors that like Kyle liked me, didn't know which one. It turns out it was Kyle P. And I was like, why does Kyle S not have not have a crush on me? Like, what the heck? And not even that I wanted Kyle S, but I wanted like the satisfaction of knowing that he had a crush on me.
No, we all knew.
So, but yeah. Anyway.
So hated her in 4th grade.
Peaked in 4th grade.
But not actually.
And then I transferred schools to private school in 5th grade, which like seriously started my downfall. I can't even start to talk about it. But we still like stayed friends. And then in high school we had like a really big like resurgence.
Yeah.
And like
it was so fun.
It was so
we had the time
much
of
fun.
our life.
That was when Tori was like peak YouTube, and she had her beauty room at her house in Collegeville, and it was the coolest thing. Like it was so cool.
The hometown drop was crazy.
No, can I not say Collegeville?
You can say it.
Love Seaville. But yeah, then I don't know, and now we're here. Now.
And we lived together at the shore for a few summers. That was really fun.
So much fun.
You still kind of like live there at the shore in this
on the weekends.
Yeah, you're a weekend warrior.
Weekend warrior.
Because now Katie lives in New York, which is, honest to God, guys, the most random thing about her.
Not something I ever saw myself doing, and I can go into like how I got here.
Go ahead.
Well, there were a lot of questions allegedly about like my like what I went to college for and like my career path and everything, and I feel like I have a really weird path of like how I got here, and this was never in the plan. Like I know a lot of people grow up like their dream is like to be in New York City, and my dream was to be pretty much anywhere except New York City. So the fact that I'm here, I still wake up every day. 2 years I've been here, wake up every day, and I'm like, what am I doing here and how did I get here? But here's how. I went to college to be a teacher, an elementary school teacher. Crazy. But it made sense. Like that's what I wanted to do my whole life. I loved school, still do, like love learning, and I wanted kids to love learning too. So I went to school to be an elementary school teacher. I got 3 years into my degree, freaked out. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it's not what I thought it was, and it just had changed a lot like over the years. And to be completely transparent, wanted to make more money. I love teachers, and I just don't think they'll ever be properly compensated enough unless they make literally like $1 million a year. And I just wanted to make more money and not have to like rely on somebody else. And I guess we'll talk about that when it comes to dating and like things. But I just wanted to be able to like provide a nicer life for myself. So I got 3 years into my degree, took a break because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And that was around the same time as COVID. So I was doing all these odd jobs, trying to figure out like what I wanted to do, whatever. Went back, did my student teaching in North Philly, crazy. And then in a Philly suburb. And upon graduation, I was moving down the shore, and I was applying to all of these jobs, just kind of not knowing anything, entry level, anything in every field imaginable, like administrative assistance, like insurance, all these random things. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I was talking to my dad one day, and I was applying to jobs all over the country except 2 places, Philadelphia and New York City. The 2 places I did not want to live. Philadelphia, because I didn't want to move home. Like I just wanted to do something new people, new scene, whatever. And New York, because I didn't get it. Like I just didn't get it. My stepsister has lived here for years, and we would come to visit her. And I remember so specifically leaving one time. It was April 2022. We came to see Wicked. And I remember driving out of the city with my dad and Kathy, my stepmom, and I was like, I don't get it here. Like, I don't understand why people like it here so much. It's dirty, it's loud, it's crowded, it's expensive. Like, there's these small apartments for like thousands of dollars. I don't get it. My dad's like, it's all about the opportunity. It's all about the people there. It's not all about the money. I'm like, it is kind of about the money. Whatever. I didn't like it. I didn't get it. So those are the only two places I wasn't applying for jobs, and I was getting no traction anywhere. Every call was a flop. Every interview was a flop. And then eventually I was like, okay, I guess I have to open it up to New York and Philly because I'm not going to find a job. I eventually applied
And you were down to move anywhere.
I was down to move anywhere. Like, I'm not kidding, anywhere. There was nowhere that was off the table, literally, except Philly and New York. Like, Chicago, Phoenix, California I didn't really want to do, but like pretty much any major
You wanted
city.
to move to Seattle.
Seattle, I was really big on. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Mhm.
But like seriously, anywhere except here. Boston, I was really big on as well. I was kind of open to anything, but I wasn't getting any traction. Obviously, because I didn't live near any of those places. They're like, why is this girl that lives in New Jersey right now, like applying to these jobs like all over the country? It just didn't really make any sense. So I opened the search up. I found a job in Brooklyn, and I'd done so many calls, so many interviews, and it was the first one where I came off of it and I really liked the people and I felt like they liked me and I could see myself like actually doing the job. And it was in sales. My dad was in sales his whole life, so I really like I love my dad obviously, and I really liked watching his career path and just the way that he like was able to provide for us, and I was like, you know what, like I can do that and I want to do kind of the same thing. So I decided to go into that, and I just took this job in Brooklyn. I had never been to Brooklyn. I didn't know anything about what I was selling, and I just kind of took it and I was like, whatever, I'll figure it out. And been here ever since. Pretty much. Like just like random. When I was thinking about jobs that I wanted, I kind of thought about things that I like to do, and my favorite job ever obviously was working at Stride. I was the front desk manager at the Seattle location for 3 years, and one of the big things about like fitness is like retention, and like a lot of studios like they'll offer classes and like the classes can be good, but it's more about like the atmosphere that you create for people that make people like really want to come back. And I feel like that rings so true in Seattle. Like
Yeah.
like people come in and like they feel like at home, like they're like with their friends, and like it was so fun getting to know people in that way. Like when people come, like I think about people like Diane, and like they
Yeah.
just like come in and they become like part of you, and like they keep coming back because the workout's great obviously, but like they also come back to like have that feeling. And I was helping create that feeling for people, and that's kind of what sales is. Like you're building relationships with people, you're getting people to buy into like the product or the experience or whatever you're trying to sell. And I was like, I'm pretty good at that. Like I just did that for 3 years and I loved every second of it. So that's kind of how I landed on sales, and yeah, just took this job in Brooklyn, not really knowing anything about it, and I've been here ever since.
But not at the same job.
Not at the same job. Okay. So my dad, speaking of him again, he did medical device sales, and I knew that right off the bat I wouldn't be able to jump right into that because it's like a higher level sale and it's just like a different kind of field. So I knew I needed some sort of like entry level like experience to do that, and I just had to do that for a certain amount of time until I had enough experience to be able to move on to it. So in May of this year, so I started that job in September 2022. I quit in May, and then like a week after I quit that job, I started my new job, and now I do pharmaceutical sales.
And you love it.
Love it. And I do that in Queens. So I feel like I have a pretty cool
You do.
experience with New York because I've seen so much of it that I think a lot of people that like even live here for years don't see.
Yeah.
Like I do outside sales. I did for my old job and I do now. So I saw pretty much every single inch of Brooklyn. Like I was driving around Brooklyn all day, every day, just like going to different businesses and whatever. And now I drive all around Queens every day. So I feel like I see so much of it, and I live in Midtown.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of Manhattan, I get a lot of Brooklyn, and I get a lot of Queens, which I don't think, not trying to shame anybody, but I don't really think that like when people move here, they really go outside of Manhattan. And I've
Right.
seen so much of it, and it's been really cool. Like I've met some of like the coolest, just like doing my job, I met some of the coolest people that I've ever met and wouldn't get the opportunity to meet like had I not done those jobs. So
And it's also so cool to see you in this current job just thriving. Like you
Thank
are
you.
crushing this job,
Thank you.
and having this mastery has translated in every single avenue of your life.
Thank you. I definitely feel like this is what I'm like meant to do, and something that it's an entirely different job than like my old job, but I feel so much more confident doing it, and I just feel like I know what I'm doing now. I had the basics like for my old job, like so grateful for that, and now I'm just able to like build on it, and I feel like this is what I've been looking for. And like every time that I was like so miserable in my old job, I just think about like I kept like reminding myself like I have to do this to get to where I really want to be, and to be where I thought I wanted to be and have it actually be what I thought it was going to be. Like it's just such a good feeling. So I'm happy like where I am now, but it's rough. it was a rough coming up.
I'm sorry, the way you keep like double looping your feet.
I know, I do that all the
Is it
time
showing-
though.
Oh, it is on the camera. Good. So people that are watching on video can see this, which you guys should watch on video because this is a great studio.
I know, I'm like trying to look at the camera because I'm not trying to look at myself. So if I'm like looking you right
you
in
could
the
look
eyes,
at me.
I know, but
Looking
then
camp right at the eye.
camp right in the eye. I don't know if I love this side of my profile, and I just feel like I have to like be mewing the entire time, but it's fine.
With your job, you have a great corporate style.
Thanks.
Thank
you.
People were asking about corporate outfits, adult style, and this is something that I also go to Katie for all the time. Like anytime I have any event where I have to wear real clothes, I send Katie all of my outfits. So she's very fashionista.
Thank you. Fashionista, I don't know. I like the term, but I am not super out of the box when it comes to clothes. I feel like I find stuff that works for me and I hold on to it like for as long as I can and just try and like make the most of it. I think that my style is very basic, but my priorities in my adult wardrobe are comfort and versatility. I want my clothes that I'm wearing, number one, like I want to feel comfortable, like physically comfortable in them, but I want to feel comfortable with the way that it looks. Like I'm not fidgeting with things all of the time. I'm not worried if like something's fallen off my shoulder or like I have to worry about it looking good all the time. I want to just be able to throw it on and like believe that it's like going to look good. And versatility, I used to do this a lot. I used to buy like the most ridiculous clothes and like have like the craziest closet because I would buy outfits for events and then like not ever wear them again. Or like when I would wear them again, it would be like the same exact thing again and just like felt kind of boring and repetitive. And I didn't like that I was like that it felt so selective and didn't felt like it all like meshed together. I felt like I had a bunch of different styles. But there is one thing that I credit to finding like my own personal style is the fact that I've not liked a single trend in the last like 4 years, like in terms of like fashion.
Right.
None of them have really spoken to me just personally. Like I like see a lot of stuff and I'm just like, don't like that. So it's really forced me to kind of figure out what works for me and just like kind of like lock into that. So when it comes to corporate stuff,
Because you have to get dressed for your job every day.
Yes, I'm in person 5 days a week. I drive all day. Like that's what I do is I drive to different offices and I meet people all day. So I have to be comfortable sitting in it. I have to be comfortable, obviously, like standing and like walking around in it. And like not that I have to look like so good every day, but like number one, I want to look good because like the better you look, like honestly, like sometimes the more time you get with people because like if you're presenting yourself well,
Right.
it's like you're taking yourself seriously and it's like I'm like here to like be taken seriously.
Right.
And it just makes me feel like a lot more confident in doing it.
Look good, feel good.
Exactly. So I keep it very simple and like anytime I buy something, if I can't picture myself wearing it like at least 5 ways, I won't buy it because I just don't think that it's worth it for me. Like if I can't wear it a bunch of different ways. So for my corporate wardrobe, I stick mainly to like trousers. This is fun. I do Nuuly.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I knew that.
I do Nuuly just to like that's where like my spice comes in. And like that's where like the fun stuff comes in. So like fun jackets and like fun tops and like fun pants, like that's where the fun comes in. But I'm very like New York wardrobe. Neutrals, grays, navies, blacks, solid colors, like and everything matches with each other. So I keep it very simple, but I think that looks clean and it just makes like it makes my getting ready process in the morning so much easier because I don't have to think about it. I can pick out a top and a bottom like out of my work stuff and like the odds that they're going to match each other without me even thinking about it are like, I don't know, very high.
So what's a normal outfit for you?
Trouser, like right now it's fall, so I'll do like trousers and a turtleneck. Or like Abercrombie has those like tight tops. They're almost like seamless, but it's like a nicer material than a seamless. And trousers, loafers every day. I'll throw like a jacket over top of that, but a lot of like turtleneck sweaters, just like plain long sleeve tops. I don't do a lot of like patterns either because I think that can get like a little bit tricky and like I don't love doing that. But I stick to neutrals. I stick to just like basics.
And you started an Instagram account.
I did. This is an idea I've had for a very, very long time and it's evolved a lot over time, but I like where it is right now. So it's called Kate and the Mirror and it's one thing about me, I could go to the coolest event. I could go to like the nicest dinner. I could do like the most extraordinary thing in the world. And the only thing that I will post on my Instagram story is a picture of my outfit in the mirror. Like that is all I will post. And that's like all people will see, because that's like, I forget to take pictures of everything else, but I will always be taking a picture of my outfit. So I decided to make like a collection of all of my mirror pictures so that, number one, I can go back and like reflect on like my cute outfits. But number two, like show how versatile my pieces are. So like something that I wear with this also looks good in this. And like also normalizing re-wearing things.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't like to like rewear things or like post things that they're wearing all the time. There was one week where I was posting, I've honestly kind of fallen off with posting, but I'm getting back to it. Where I wore like the same black pants like 3 days in the same week. But like, number one, you're allowed to do that. Number two, I like the pants. They fit me. They look good on me. And number two, they're black pants. Or three, they're black pants. Like I'm going to wear them like as much as I want to, if that's like what makes sense for me in the moment. So that's where I'm at with Kate in the Mirror, just sharing like where my stuff is from. And back to really quick, like my closet and like what's important to me, finding clothes that fit like my body type and like the way that my body works. I think for a while I didn't really know like my proportions very well. I have a very short torso. I have longer legs, like as long as they can be. I'm pretty short. But learning what looks good on me, again, like that kind of goes back to the comfortability and like not having to like fidget at things and like make sure that things are falling the right way. Like when I have things that are appropriately fit to my body, I don't think about them as much. So Kate in the Mirror is all about the pictures right now. But my original idea, and I might go back to this one day, is reflections and reflections.
Yeah, I love this concept.
Me too. So reflections, obviously like me in the mirror, like hello, taking a picture in the mirror, but also reflections on like myself and like things in my past. I have a very like I look back a lot, and I think I used to look back in regret at like a lot of like decisions that I made. Like it took me 6 years to graduate college. Like I could talk about that forever. And I used to look back at that in regret, but since I'm older now and like I'm where I'm at now, I can look back more in a way like, why did I do that? And like, where would I be if I didn't do that? Like, what if I did finish in 4 years like everybody else does? Like, what would have happened? So like reflections on like decisions I've made and things like that, and almost like things I did wrong so that I could help people like through like their decisions. But I'm just like, I don't know.
You are so hard on yourself about using 6 years for college.
I know.
Why?
I'm hard on myself about a lot of things, and I try to give myself a lot more grace. That I just feel like I'm embarrassed by, but like I should.
No,
I don't
there's
know.
No reason to. Be
I know.
about that.
I know. And like that's like my big issue with it. Like I should be so proud of myself because I graduated college.
Yeah.
Who cares how long it took me?
No, 100%.
But like for so long, and like whenever I have to like explain that to people, I'm just like I literally like roll my eyes at myself. Like, well, like I started in 2016. I was supposed to end in 2020, but I ended up graduating in 2022. Like that is not a big deal.
No,
It's literally not a big deal. And like
No.
I'm totally fine now. But also for a while, I didn't really know I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. So like after my first gap year, like freaking out, like, oh my God, I took a gap year. After my second gap year, oh my God, freaking
It
out.
was also during COVID, Kate.
I know.
So normal.
I know. I'm like, I've reframed my thinking about it a lot. And like, I am, number one, like grateful that I did it because I think it taught me a lot about myself. And number two, like, not that it doesn't matter, but like, I look at myself now. Also, that's another thing. For a while, I felt like I was very behind, like with all of my peers, because I was watching everybody like move out and like get in their apartments and like get their jobs, and I'm like, I still don't have my degree, like I can't do anything. So like that was kind of hard too, but I've also come to peace with the fact more when I get older that there is no path, there is no timeline, like everybody is on their own thing. That was so hard for me to grasp.
It still is hard.
Totally. And when you have this idea for so long of how your life's going to go,
Right.
and then all of a sudden
Right.
it doesn't go that way,
Right.
it's like, oh my God, like, what do I do?
Right.
Like, it's like deer in headlights. But
Yeah.
you get older and you give yourself more grace and you realize, like,
You don't have to have it all figured out by 30.
no. But like,
Katie's almost 30.
I'm not almost 30. I just turned 27.
Happy birthday to my husband.
That's me.
I want to circle back to your personal style really quick. How did you transition from college style to adult style without looking professional all the time?
Very hard. I honestly don't know. Honestly, like walking
You do
away.
a great job at it.
Thank you so much. Walking away from crop tops is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And again, like learning your body and like things that you like about yourself and like things that you want to highlight. I like my body, love my body. I don't have like insane curves that I'm like trying to show off. And
We have
something
the progress pictures to prove.
actually, I'm not going to stand up right now, but I was looking the other day and like I feel like I'm low key getting somewhere with
Wait,
my
stand up. Let me see.
There's no way that it can be any worse than how it was in that one picture. Oh my god. One day we were at the shore and I was that in the summer? It had to have been like
That was in the summer.
late summer. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grow the hell out of my glutes. Like just everybody watch out because I'm gonna have a fat ass like soon enough. Like just like wait for me. And Tori was like, okay, progress picture,
pic.
day one, inverted. Like it's not even like I wouldn't even say flat because like that doesn't even describe like what my behind looked like. It was caved all the way in. And it's not as bad as it used to be. Like
That moment was like, I hope you're hungry. For nothing.
Literally. And I really thought that I was going to do something with that. And I probably did squats for like 2 days in a row. And I was like, yep, never doing that again.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
Back to my form, back to my body. I don't have like super like curves. So like when I think about my body, the things that I like to show off are number one, my legs. I think I have really nice legs, and my face. I feel like people either have hair or face. Some people have both.
You have both.
My hair is really not it. Which is
What about when I curl it?
When Tori curls it, the hair is it.
When I turn on my curling iron, it's over for
it's
everyone.
game over, and I just look the best that I've ever looked in my life.
No, I turn on the iron, I have a line.
Lethal. Like, and I'm always first, by the way.
And honestly, your hair always turns out the best.
It does.
It curls really well.
It feels like it was made to be curled by you. And I don't know how to curl my hair. I don't know how to do anything with my hair. If you're watching the video, I don't even want to talk about what's going on right now. But I wore a slick back to work today because I just needed to, okay? Like, it was just like one of those days. And I never do a high slick back. Like, don't ask me why. The one day that I need to look nice, I decide to go totally out of my comfort zone and do this high ass bun. Whatever, slick back. Anyway, something else I like to show off is my face. Like, that's another feature that, like, I like to highlight. So, like, I'm a turtleneck girl. I'm a boat neck girl. Like, anything where it, like, cuts off kind of, like, higher up so that, like, my face is, like, the focal point. Like, those are the things I want to show off. So
and it works for Kate. You guys should see her at a bar.
Yeah, honestly. But it's just because I know, like, what I want to do. Like, I'm going to do, like, a shorter skirt, and I'm going to do something higher up on my neck because it's not like I have, like, cleavage that I'm trying to show off. But, like, if that's your, like, asset that you want to show off, like, you have to find tops that, like, look good for you, that feel comfortable for you, and that are like going to show off like what you deem to be like your best asset. And if you don't know, ask your friends.
That's a great
tip. Yeah, like what like about me should I be like showing off?
I think you got it.
Exactly.
Legs and face.
For me, that's it. So that was a big part of like my personal style, is kind of like figuring out like what I like and like what I want people to see and just going from there. It's a lot of trial and error. Like, it is, like, a lot of trying on clothes, which everybody hates. Like, nobody likes doing that, especially when you're trying on things that you don't know that you're gonna look good in, and then you end up looking so bad in them. It's, like, a very humbling.
So humbling.
But it's good to know. Like, you really don't know until you try. Like, I can't wear deep Vs. I have no business wearing a deep V, which is fine. And on somebody else, it's gonna look so good.
Yeah.
But, like, not everything is, like, made for me. And that's kind of goes back to the trends, too. Like, not really succumbing to that and, like, feeling like I have to dress how everybody else is dressing just because that's what's on trend.
Right.
Like, going back to what, like, I feel good in, like, what I feel like I look good in.
Right. You guys really should see Katie at a bar. I kind of want to talk about that really quick because it's actually unlike anything you guys have ever seen before.
Thank you.
I'll never forget one time we were at Or House, which is a bar at the shore. And
when it was open outside, if you know, you know.
My dad came with us. Not sure why. He just wanted a Sunday fun day, I think. Came with us. We go to the bar. It's packed. Like, you actually can't even get to the bar. The line to get to, like, we're in the bar, but then we need to get drinks. The line to get a drink at the bar was absolutely insane.
Astronomical.
And my dad is like, this is absurd. All of a sudden, Katie's standing in front of me. A guy has 2 beers in his
Never
hand.
seen him before in my life.
Never seen this man. 2 beers in his hand. Sees Katie, goes, wait, have my beers.
Handed him right to me. And
my dad goes, what? And I'm like, it happens all the time.
We would tell Ross all these stories because like weird things like that
Ross is my dad.
Oh, yes. Like weird things like that do happen to me all the time at the bar. Not so much recently, but I think it's because I'm older now. But like when I was 24, 25, like I was hot. I was with it. Like 23, I think like was probably my best year. Just like these crazy things would happen to me at the bar. One time it was after Rachel's Miss Avalon. We went to the Whitebriar. I actually like was going through my pictures the other day and I made a album that was just crazy stories and like this is part
That's a good album to have.
Just because I have all these random screenshots of like these just whack things that happened to me. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn right now, but Abby Krause. Some guy went up to Abby Krause and pointed to me and was like, who is that girl? And she was like, oh, like that's Katie. And he Venmoed her $1,000 for her to get him a date with me. And then I left the bar, so she Venmoed him back $990. She kept 10, but he sent her $1,000 to like go on a date with me.
If you're this man, come forward.
I know his name because I have the screenshot of the Venmo, and I've tried looking for him before, but I can't find him. Very common.
You don't know him?
Nope.
No one's ever known him?
No, literally
That's crazy.
Random guy at the Whitebriar just like went up to Abby because she was like at our table. It was like, who is that girl?
Face card.
Never declines.
Let's talk about dating while we're here. Go ahead.
There's really not much to say. I know that everybody wants to hear about like the New York dating scene, and I really don't have much experience with it. I have had experiences with two dating experiences. The first one was when I first moved here. I met this guy. I used to work in a WeWork. And I met this guy in the WeWork, and we were just like talking like whatever, and I didn't live there at the moment. Oh, also, by the way, I commuted to New York City from Princeton, New Jersey for 2 months. Every single morning, I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive 2 hours into Brooklyn, and then drive 2 hours back every single night until I found an apartment. So just like want to throw that out there, exhausted for 2 months. Anyway, so when I finally like moved there, me and this guy, we would just like talk in the hallway. He worked for some like startup. I worked for my company. We just go back and forth, and he's like, oh, like, do you finally live here? And I was like, oh, yeah, I do. And he's like, oh, we should go out. And I was like, okay. So we went out, and so much fun. He was older, like, he was cute, like, really nice guy. We really got along. He was really, like, interesting. I feel like people here are very interesting. Like, he had all these, like, weird, like, travel stories, and, like, from California. I came here, fell in love, had to move here, like, whatever. Like, very typical, like, New York guy. And we had 3 months of some of the most, like, extraordinary dates I've ever been on. We went to all these really cool places. He knew all these little like holes in the wall, and like even when we would just like hang out one-on-one, like so interesting.
A long time.
Yeah, it totally is a long time. And things were going like really well. We were going out like at least twice a week, like everything was okay. Valentine's Day rolls around. He didn't say a word to me on Valentine's Day,
which is fine.
Totally fine. Hasn't said a word to me since.
The day got him.
Who knows what happened? But here's the thing. Didn't have any expectation about it. Didn't say anything about it. Wouldn't have been mad if he didn't say anything at all about Valentine's Day.
Never had to.
It's the fact that he never said anything at all. And I feel like that is very like New York. To have this like swept off your feet, like really good connection, like really good dates, like whatever. And then all of a sudden,
gone.
Poof. So I mean, I wasn't really like heavily invested in that. I was confused for a while, and I was like, do I say something? And then I was like, wait, I actually like, don't care. So like if I really liked him and like thought he was the love of my life, maybe I would have like texted him first, but I didn't think that. So I didn't say anything. And the other experience, I don't even count. Like I shouldn't even count.
Yeah, I don't even know what experience you're talking about, the second one.
Oh, it's because it's so stupid. Like I don't even think that I told anybody about it. I was on Raya for a little bit.
How'd you get on?
I was just going to say the only reason I was on it was because I got accepted. I don't know.
Did you apply?
Applied and I got in within 2 days.
See anyone crazy on there?
No referrals. Yes.
Can you name drop?
Yeah, Louis the Child. I have pictures of them on my old iPad. Keegan Allen, I think is his name. He's the guy from that's not his name. From Pretty Little Liars, Toby.
Oh.
Yeah. John Mayer was on there, but I think he was out of my age range, but totally would have swiped right.
Darn, you love John Mayer.
Love John Mayer. And I'm a Swiftie. Two things can be true at the same time. But I was on Raya basically just to say that I was on Raya. And I was like, you know what? Everybody, this is the new age of dating. Like, this is the way that people meet each other. I should just go on a date. So literally, I think like picked like whoever's at the top of my matches. Oh, I also matched with Pilot Pete.
That is true. And it was
But that was
right when he
but that was on Hinge.
and that was also right when he was about to go on Traders. Like, he
Yes.
just got back and the show was about to air.
And the thing about that is he swiped on me first. I didn't even see him. He came up in like my like people that liked me. And then he went on Traders and
I don't
like,
think you're missing much. But it would have been a cool bragging right.
it just would have been nice. We sent a few messages back and forth, but then he blew up on Traders and he forgot about me, which is totally
You did?
fine.
You talked to him? I didn't know you talked to him.
I think I still have the messages.
Like, what did
Oh,
you guys say?
I actually just cleared out my Hinge the other day. I'll explain everything. He said something because one of my prompts is that I don't like dogs. One of my prompts is that I don't like dogs because I don't, and I will say that with my full chest. I don't like them.
Wait, you have to talk about the person that also replied to your other prompt and said about, like, never been on a Hinge date.
Wait, who?
No, remember someone said, like, so you're just doing this for the
Oh,
ego?
literally. So Pilot Pete first. I said one of my prompts was my biggest red flag is I don't like dogs, and he swiped up and he said, "Well, this is gonna be rough. RUFF."
Kind of playful.
And I liked it. And I answered back and I was like, not all dogs, because that's true. Like, I like
Frankie.
some of them. I like Frankie. And like, I like my mom's dog. Like, she's fine. But I said, like, not all dogs. And he goes, oh, good. Like, glad you can make an exception. I have the screenshot somewhere. And then I messaged back and then he went on Traders and never messaged me back.
See a Pilot Pete.
Oh my God. And so, okay, so let me explain this Raya date really quick because it literally doesn't even matter. I matched with this guy and I was like, whatever, I'll go out with him. I went out with him on a Monday to Temple Bar, loved Temple Bar. It was so nice. Didn't really have a match with the guy. And my one qualm with him was after the date wrapped at Temple Bar, he was like, okay, I'll get an Uber home. I'll do a stop at your apartment and stop at mine. I was like, okay, perfect. It's a Monday. I've worked the next day because it's Tuesday. And while we're in the Uber, he was like, we're gonna get a nightcap. And I was like, I have to work tomorrow. And like, it's late. So he's like, no, like we're getting a nightcap. Stops the Uber,
Oh my
makes me
God.
get out like in West
Oh my
Village.
God.
We go to Little Branch in the West Village. And it took him literally 30 minutes to get a drink. 30 minutes, which is, by the way, so embarrassing. It would have taken me 3. And it took him 30 minutes. So I was out like an hour later than I thought it was going to be. And after that, I was like, I'm done. And I didn't even like him. Like, I like really
It's
didn't.
embarrassing for him.
But honestly, I told him, I was like, this is my first dating app date ever. So it's just like something I had to get out of my system. So I think he kind of knew that like I wouldn't have texted him, but whatever. Oh my God. But then the other day, again, I got in through these things where I'm like, this is the new age of dating and I have to participate.
Well,
in
the
it.
Hinge happened after Miami, which we should talk about Miami too. We'll get there in a sec.
Yes. So one of my new Hinge prompts is that I've never been on a Hinge date. Also, I would just like to say I've messaged back probably 3 people. Messaged back, not even gone on dates, not even shared numbers with. Messaged back maybe 3 people in my entire Hinge experience ever, and one of them was Pilot Pete. So one of my prompts now was never have I ever been on a Hinge date, which really, really gets the people talking. So some guy swiped up and he goes, "So this is just for the ego then?"
Kind of ate.
Gagged. Like I didn't even know what to say. I did answer him. Like he got me.
Yeah, he did.
He
What'd
got
you
me.
say?
I think like you got me. And then he probably answered back and I never said anything else. Like I don't know what it is. I don't really know what my issue is with the dating apps because I know so many people that have like great success, like Rachel. Like people have great success with that. It's so uncomfortable for me. It's so
The whole thing is kind of uncomfortable.
I just feel like I feel like it's not a good representation of me no matter what I do.
Right.
Like there's no pictures, prompts, anything. Like not that I think I'm like the super special person, but I just like don't think that I come across. I think I'm a lot different than like people might think I am, just like based on like my
Completely
pictures.
agree.
Like I'm not like other girls.
Katie is funny.
She's something.
Was Miami like life-changing for you? Because honestly, for me, there was pre-Miami, post-Miami Tori.
I don't think it was necessarily life-changing, but I had the time of my life. Like I had so much fun and I really liked it there. I'd never been there. But I did really like it a lot.
Did you feel like a baddie?
I felt like myself, which was good. Like I felt like I was going a little bit again, like talking about my wardrobe. I have no fun clothes. So like it came to this and I had like nothing. So I kind of had to make do with what I had, and what I had like worked for me. So
Worked.
I felt very myself, but I also never felt sexy in my life. But like I did feel like a little bit like sexy. Like I was like, oh, like I'm like a grown woman.
No,
like
that's like something changes. Like when I turned 26, that's when I was like, I'm a grown woman.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the first time in my life where I've like we talked about this the other day that I've like felt my age.
Yeah.
And I think in the past I would like be 25 and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm 25 and like my life is over." Or, "Oh my god, like I'm 26 and like my life is over. Like what am I doing with my life?" But now I'm like 27, I'm watching people, like I also used to watch people get married, like people have babies, like all this stuff and be like, "Oh." I'm so happy for those people now because
Yeah.
I'm like that's like again, like that's your path. Like that's obviously like so clearly not my path, but like
At
that's
the moment.
at the moment, but that's like for them. So I feel like I don't like hold a lot like the resentment that I used to like against aging. It feels nicer. But yeah, that was the first time that I felt like a young hot woman. Like and not like hot in like a college hot, because like obviously it was hot in college, everybody's hot in college, but like this was like a different kind of
Yeah. It's like a
like
womanly hot.
yeah. So yeah, I really did like it.
Do
Like I
you
said.
want to date?
That's the thing. Like I feel like I should want to, but I just don't really think it's like a priority for me right now. I don't really know how else to say that. Like I just like don't really like care to. I think that for so long it was like not all I thought about, but like a lot of what I thought about, and I was just always trying to like who is it gonna be? Like, oh my
Right.
god, like which one of these is gonna stick? And I just like don't feel like really like playing that game, and I don't feel like not that I don't feel like putting myself out there, but I just like don't I actually don't feel like putting myself out there. Like I don't know. Like I think maybe eventually it'll be, and like again like back to like the path thing, like I low key feel like I'm running out of time, but I also know that like what is meant for me like will find
I
me.
won't miss you.
And also I'd be totally okay if like I never got married.
You say that.
Yes. And I mean it.
I know you do.
Yes.
I know you do.
Yeah, I just like don't like I think if I did, great, but I think if I didn't, I have so much other like love in my life that I don't feel like I'm like necessarily missing something. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I can't have kids, doesn't mean like
Right.
I can do so many things like even if I don't have
A partner.
like a partner to do that with, but
Yeah. And family's really big to you right now.
yes, I love my family more than anything. They are
I feel like the last like 3 years, it's really amplified.
I feel like it was
And is living away from them harder?
yeah, I feel like COVID really brought us together because my parents are divorced. I feel like everybody could probably pick up on that by now because I talk about my stepmom. But my parents are divorced, and for a while I thought that that would like drive a wedge in my family, but I really think that it's brought us like so much closer together because like my parents just weren't good like married, but like they're good friends still. They're on really good terms. Like I'm so lucky. I say this all the time. I'm so lucky. I have a group chat with my mom, my dad, and my siblings, and like nobody else. Like it's just like us, and like
Mhm.
we have that. And I know so many people that have like divorced parents that like can't say the same thing. And I'm just so lucky that they like tolerate each other in the way not even tolerate, like they get along with each other.
Yeah.
Like we're at holidays together. Like it's like they can be around each other, like so lucky. And I think like COVID really brought us together too. Like it wouldn't be like everybody like my mom would be like stuck in her house like alone. Like if she was at her house alone, my dad's like, "Oh my god, like come over."
Right.
Like we could all just like be together during this. And I there was not a second right before this I had to silence all of my group chats like individually because number one I have them all on do not disturb like bypass. So
Right.
even when I'm on do not disturb, like
They come through.
they still come through, and we are talking to each other 24/7.
Yeah.
Like there's not like a moment that goes by that like I'm not talking to one of them like in some capacity, and they really are like huge part of my life. Like love them.
And you're an aunt.
And I'm an aunt to the most beautiful baby in the world. My nephew Andrew, who I never refer to as Andrew, he is just
The
baby.
baby.
And literally like opened my eyes to like a new type of love that I didn't even know like existed within me, and just like everything like oh my god, like every part of my heart just loves him so
Yeah.
much. I call my sister probably like 5 times a day. She answers maybe once. Like, just because I want to see him. And what makes me happy, I was so scared, like going back to like the distance thing and like being far away from them. Number one, I think that distance makes the heart grow fonder. Like I think, and I knew that at college too. Like when I was away from my family, it made me appreciate them so much more.
Kate went to Penn State.
I went to Penn State. So did like my entire family, like literally everybody. So it was like nothing new.
It was literally written in the story for
Yeah.
all the Brennans to go to
I was
Penn State.
I was born to do that. Being far away from them then. What was I saying?
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes, but there was somewhere where I was going with that.
How you miss them because you're in New York?
Oh, I feel so lucky that like I don't even know what I was gonna say with that, but like I'm lucky that I can like FaceTime them and like
Yeah.
oh, this is what I was worried about. I was worried about that me being far away from the baby would like not not harm my relationship with him, but like not make it as deep as like it could be. And
Especially probably because Lauren was home, so you might have been comparing.
yeah, I was like, is he gonna love Lauren more than he
Which
loves
is
me?
Lauren is her little sister, and Kelsey is her older sister, and Kelsey is the one with the baby.
Yes, Kelsey has the baby, and Lauren is my little sister. But yeah, I was like, is
Living
he
it up in Charleston.
Yeah, and now she moved too. So we're both like long distance aunties. But I was worried that he and I wouldn't have as good a relationship because I wasn't around him all the time. I'm like, he's just gonna see me on holidays and be like,
Right.
oh, like that's Aunt Kate that comes around only for Christmas. But I see him every day. And his face literally lights up. Like when I get on FaceTime, he's like, he sticks his little tongue out.
So cute.
And so his whole thing is like when he sees me, he sticks his tongue out. We don't really know why, but like he just started doing it. And so like I would do it back to him like we stick our tongues out at each other. And my mom has obviously like pictures of us all around the house, and she has like a picture of me, and he'll go up to it and stick his tongue out.
Shut up.
Like he knows me. And that is all I could ask for in this world, that he like knows me and like can like pick me out of a crowd. And like when I see him in person, he's gonna be like, that's that girl I see on the phone.
Wonder if he knows like your family.
I know. Well, I think that me and Kelsey look the most alike out of everybody in my family. Like, I think that we all look related.
You and Sam are like kind of identical.
Okay, I was thinking more about women.
Okay, if we're talking about like all the Brennans look alike. You guys all have strong genes.
We all look different, but we all
You look like siblings.
for sure. I think that we're all like perfect mixes of our parents. Like, I think like some people like will pull like one parent.
Will you look, Kelsey, Lauren, and your mom sound identical? Like, get you guys on the phone.
Do you think?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I think that Lauren copies everything I do. So I think
Lauren is lethal these days. She is so funny. We need her on the pod.
like these are things that you cannot tell her. And this
No.
is just like what I would like to say. She gets everything from me.
No, I can tell her. And you know what? I don't even have to tell her because every time I have a conversation with her, I'm cracking up.
She is who she is
She's
today.
so
because of
funny.
me. I just hope that she knows that. She does know that, but she is funny.
Lauren, if you're watching, you are lethal.
But I think out of all of us, me and Kelsey look the most alike, like girls. So I think like when he would first see me, he would look at me like
Are you my mom?
you kind of look like my mom, but I know you're not my mom. So who are you? So I think he kind of knows like that I'm very close to his mom, but like I'm obviously not his mom. But yeah, being an aunt is like just one of the greatest feelings ever.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful. And the best part is baby's crying, baby's pooping, baby's doing something that I
Give
don't
it
want it to
back.
do. Take him back.
What's your life in New York like? Because people ask me this a lot because a lot of people don't know that you live here.
Yeah.
So
I never talk about
it's
it.
like crazy. And every now and then I'll just remember that Katie lives here and I'll randomly text her like, I can't believe you live in New York.
Because me either.
And every time I'm here, I'm like, I can't believe Katie lives here. Like, I can't believe it. So mutual friends of ours will always say like, what is Katie's like life like in New York? And I'm always like, she's not there by choice. Like, she's there because of work.
Totally. I'm totally here because like the only reason is because of work. And
Yeah,
like I feel like I don't live like the typical New York like
I would agree. You definitely
lifestyle.
don't hit us
But
with it.
I love the way that I live here. And I feel like that's the best part about New York is like it is whatever you want to make of it. If you want to like fall into like when I moved here was also around the like New York TikTok hype. Like
Yeah.
when like that like New York City talk was like everywhere. So I was like, oh, like getting geared up. But once I realized I can do whatever I want to do
We
here,
will.
really changed my life. My life is very calm. My life is very peaceful and it's very like routine. Like I do the same things like pretty much all the time. I'm very lucky and very glad that I go into work every single day because it forces me to like leave my house. I cannot imagine working from home. I was not meant to do that. So I wake up, I get ready for work, I go to work, I come home, I go to the gym, I come home, I make dinner,
Yeah.
I like watch TV and like I go to bed. Like and on the weekends, I
You
don't
go home a lot.
I either go home like to Pennsylvania a lot, or if I'm here, I am out of my apartment as much as I can be, like walking around. I was telling Tori that today, like I would just like walk around like aimlessly, just to like see what's going on. Like I'll shop or like stop somewhere nice for lunch. I go to the park, went to the museum last week, just like kind of like change things up. But I keep it like really low key. Like I'll go out like once in a blue moon if I'm like really, really feeling it, but I don't like know New York so well, so I don't feel like super safe going out and like
Right.
like drinking here. So I try and not do that because I never want to get myself in like a situation that I
Very smart.
like don't want to be in.
Want to be in, obviously.
Yeah. So I play it pretty safe, but I love like the life that I created for myself. It's like very me and it like keeps me like very at peace.
What are some of like your favorite memories of us together?
Memories? That one photo shoot that we did on the lawn.
The lawn?
Not
At
even
the basin?
lawn. The basin.
Oh my God. When you got more likes than me?
Iconic. We used to compete for Instagram likes, and there was one point where I was winning.
Katie had clout.
Memories. What else?
Well, this past summer, like that one night at the Whitebriar.
Time of my life. Time of my life.
So funny.
Funnest night of my life.
So funny.
Didn't have a drop of alcohol, and it was the funnest night out I've probably ever had.
Sweatshirts.
We bought sweatshirts at the Whitebriar, and we camped out at the Whitebriar. Is this little? Do they know what the Whitebriar is? I feel like you guys might know. The Whitebriar is this indoor, outdoor, pretty much just outdoor bar
like
in
patio.
Avalon. Gorgeous. And we got this table, prime location, like right before happy hour started, where you could see everybody coming in. You could see everybody going into the dance floor. And we were just people watching the entire night.
And it was the weekend before Labor Day weekend. So it was chill, but it was all the people that we knew from the shore.
Yes, because that is a very like, I have a shore house weekend.
Yes.
Like, because then people come down, like people that don't have a shore house, like come down for Labor Day
weekend.
So that was just, oh my God, it's so much fun. We were just people watching. I was laughing so hard. And we just saw like pretty much everybody we've ever met in our entire we saw Popstar. We saw
like, Popstar then.
Everywhere I turned, like I was seeing all these people and I was just laughing. That was
so funny.
Literally my favorite night. I had so much fun.
The edamame was so funny.
Oh my God. We
like
had
being horny was so funny.
We got sushi and edamame early on in the night. We got there at like literally 5 o'clock, didn't leave till what, like 11? We got there like 5 o'clock. We had sushi and we got edamame. Nobody ended up eating the edamame. And then it's like 10.
No, we did. We just had leftover.
Had leftover edamame. And it's maybe like 10 o'clock. And so like people are like out and people started at like 7. So like people are like drunk around like 10 o'clock. Some guy just sits down at our table and starts eating this super cold, super old edamame.
Picked over.
Never seen him before in my life. Could have been anybody's edamame covered in literal poison.
Yeah.
And he is scarfing down this edamame. And you know what? He enjoyed it.
And he never even acknowledged us.
And he kind of just like trusted it. And like, that's the thing about this. Like you can trust. You can
honestly trust anyone.
The edamame on the table. Like that is a safe bet. That was a really, really, really funny night.
That was hysterical.
Wow. Really funny.
Yeah, that was a fun night. Just good times to like people watch everyone. Like going in with low expectations.
Totally.
And just having the best of time.
No, we went out like so casual too. No makeup. I looked like hot garbage that night. And I didn't even care. I didn't even care because I was having fun. You, me, and Tiff.
Yeah.
We were just.
Tiff was watching the Phillies.
Yes. And we were just laughing. It is so fun to laugh with your friends.
It is fun to laugh.
Yeah. And then we went home and I went to bed and it was gorgeous. I think I went back out that night.
I think you did too because you were waiting for a text.
No, I think
No, Tiff was mad because she wanted to go out and you were like, I'll go out. You texted someone, you never got a text back. And then it kind of like altered your mood a little bit.
Gagged.
So you were like, I don't want to go out anymore.
Gagged.
And Tiff was like, Katie, like, I can't believe you don't want to go out because you always want to go out with the shore. That was then.
Know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Gagged. And you guys would be gagged too. Won't talk about it.
Doesn't he
would be gagged? No.
Oh.
I thought he did. But he does not. He just doesn't like me.
Katie texted this guy. She was like, not overthinking it, but she was like, I'm going to text him.
All I said was hi.
He couldn't even say it back.
Didn't answer. Unfollowed me on Instagram.
Shut up. He did?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
And he doesn't have a girlfriend? I thought he did. Okay. When we sent the text, he was single.
Totally.
I thought you found out like 2 months later that he had a girlfriend.
I thought he did, but then I actually never got confirmation that he didn't, but it wasn't who I thought it was.
Okay.
So if he does, I don't know who
The unfollowing is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Very odd.
Makes me think he was doing something he should have been doing.
Very likely.
And just add that to the story of dating men.
Seriously. Yeah. So just to round up the dating thing, I'm off it. until I'm back
One
on.
of my favorite dating stories of you was Memorial Day weekend when he was like, a different guy a few years ago was like, we should date.
I fell in love. I actually knew him for like a while.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like we were like friends, and I like saw him at the shore, and like literally like after one day of hanging out, he's like, we should date. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And then like literally
Memorial Day weekend, which is like, he was
the
like, no, I'm
worst
gonna
time to
actually
do
gonna
that.
wife you up for the summer.
Wait, you know what I did the other day?
No.
Blocked that person that I said I was going to block.
Okay, give me hints.
I was going through turmoil, trying to figure out if I should just, yeah,
You did.
yeah,
Good. I think that was the right decision.
I think so too.
Do you feel good?
I don't feel anything because I don't care.
Because you don't care.
Don't care.
And that's a good place to be in. It isn't hate, it isn't love, it's just indifference.
It is just indifference.
I think that's good.
Exactly.
It ruined his life.
It did. I just wonder if he knows. I think he knows.
He has to know.
Yeah.
He thinks of you all the time.
How could he not?
And she's humble.
You have to keep the peace.
Katie, have you had fun today?
I had so much fun. I was a little bit nervous about this, but I don't really know why.
It's just you and me.
It is just you and me.
And we're like, we know how to gab.
Totally.
We should like keep hanging out. Like, you don't have to leave.
I cannot go to Soho
Look,
Grand.
Katie literally, I have to like bribe Katie to hang out with me.
I can't go to Soho Grand Hotel looking like this.
Well, until I go to Soho Grand with Lindsay, why don't
What time are you doing that?
like 8 is when she's done nannying. What time is it?
7:30.
Yeah.
I can hang out. I just can't. I literally can't go there.
You can
These
walk us
hobos.
there.
Yeah.
Or you can walk me there at
Yeah.
least.
No. 100%.
Erica says, hey, by the way, Hastings.
Hi, Erica Hastings. I love
Ideal
Erica
traits in a
Hastings.
man?
Huh?
Ideal traits in a man?
Family oriented, motivated, like has like drive and like plans and like will to like
Live.
improve and like succeed. Kind-hearted, smart, funny but not funnier than me, which is hard to do. And there's this quote that I think about all the time, and like when I think of like my ideal partner, like this is what I think about. It's something like, I hope you find somebody that speaks your language so you don't spend a lifetime trying to translate your soul.
Oh my God, I love that.
Isn't that like beautiful? And I
Yeah.
feel like that's where I've struggled a lot. Like me and people like will like, obviously we speak the same language, English, but like don't speak, like they don't get me and like
Yeah.
the way that I operate. And I feel like there's like a disconnect there. That goes back to like people, like I think I'm not like what people think I am. Like people think of me in a different way than like I actually am.
Right.
So I think a lot of it goes back to that too. Like learning like who like understands like you at your core.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. I do think about that a lot. Like, cause I don't want to have to like explain everything about myself
Of course.
to somebody. Like I just kind of want somebody to like get it and accept it.
I also always like, and I remind myself of this often, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Exactly. Yeah. And like for some people, like there's like something that'll like chop that right off. But
Right.
like for right people to have like patience is another huge thing that I look for in a man, is somebody who's patient and kind and understanding, that can like give people grace, being able to give it and being able to like receive it. That's a big thing too. For sure.
Katie, you've done amazing today.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram if you want to. You should follow Kate in the Mirror.
Yeah, follow that one.
Kate, period, in period, the period, mirror. No period. And I guess you can follow like my actual Instagram. I like don't post, but it's Katie_Brennan. That's it. I don't post on TikTok, but
Guys, thank you so much
That's
for watching and for listening. Katie, thanks for coming on.
thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. Like, the people love having you and I love having you.
Oh my God. Thanks, people. And you.
I'm part of the people.
You are.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.